It got to the point where I didn't want to live and I didn't want to die. And on that ship, getting up in the morning one day, on that metal diamond grating, standing in front of a mirror in the sink, looked at myself and said, I'm just like my father, I'm a different person, but I crawl into a bottle and I run. At all cost, I run for myself.
This is The Bottom Line. I'm Gary Thiemann in Hollywood. Alcoholism, a way of life for Bill, even in the United States Navy. Alcoholism doesn't discriminate against careers. This is a story about running, hiding from reality, a disease that wreaks havoc on the victim. However, it's a story of recovery. This is Bill's story.
My name's Bill and I'm an alcoholic. It's hard for me to speak about this. I started drinking, first time I took a drink I was 8 years old. Tried a bottle of champagne at a New Year's Eve party. It did something for me that I liked. It took me out of myself. I was afraid usually of who I was or other people, and I looked at the outside world as a frightening place. So when I got that way, I felt I was adult and people didn't bother me and I felt accepted. And but one thing that got me was I made a friend that night that I didn't appreciate, and that was a toilet bowl. Got very sick, so I didn't have anything to drink for another 2 years. Then I think I only tried a beer or two. About the age of 13, I was started drinking, and it had the same effect on me. I never grew up wanting to succeed and become an alcoholic. Sounds a little strange, but that's what I proceeded to do. Because it did something for me, as I said before, that I liked. I didn't care about the rest of the world anymore, and I was all right. I could function. I could get by with other things that I hadn't been able to get by before. I could study, I could make friends, and I could ask people and do things that I normally couldn't have done. I looked at others that didn't drink or smoke pot and thought they didn't really understand what was going on in the world. If you saw it the way I saw it, you'd use and you'd drink just as I did. Because the world isn't a pretty place. It's a scary place and people aren't that friendly and they're going to be out there to get you. And I didn't feel comfortable with it. So if you knew what was going on, then you would have drank. Drank just like I did. After about a year, I wasn't doing well in school and I was getting in trouble. But the way I looked at it is, if you just leave me alone, I'd do all right. Just back off. Why are you saying that I'm having a problem? I'm not having a problem. You're having a problem. Just leave me the hell alone and I'll do all right. I couldn't understand that drinking was my problem. And other things were. I would try other substances. That's the age I came from. I'm fairly young. See, it was the broken home I came from that was the problem. It was my father's drinking that was the problem. I wasn't the problem. It was everything else. If the world was not the way it is, then I'd be all right. And anyway, this did something for me that I guess many people can't understand. It made me something that I wanted to be. It helped me cope with life. The thing though was that I kept continually getting myself in trouble and I couldn't function. I thought I could function. I could make it to school. And after a while, I could make it to where I had to go. And I ate. And anyway, getting DUIs and things like this, many people get them. I just happen to get caught. Other people do it. And that's how I looked at it. See, it was basically the world was out to get me. And you people just don't understand. And if you felt the way I felt, you'd drink. I continued that way. I've been asked to leave countries. I've been asked to leave many schools. I stole. I'd steal from stores. I'd steal for other things to get money where I could get by. And if you understood, then you wouldn't be down on my case. But the thing was, I really didn't understand. I was scared, and I was lonely, and this is what helped me get through. The terrible thing was, after about 6 months of doing it, it stopped working. But I continued to go on with it because I expected the same results that I had when I first started out. At all costs, I don't want to feel. My creed of life was to run at all costs from who I was or what was going on. I didn't want to admit that I might be afraid. Didn't want to admit that things bothered me or that things might have hurt. Then I might have to face it. And it really helped me simply not to look at who I was or what was going on. And that's really the bottom line for me. Is I want to run at all cost. And it helped me get away from me. I haven't been able to get away from myself. I joined the Navy in 1983. I'd signed up in 1982. At the time, I was being evicted from where I was living. My job was a dead-end job. I had a tendency of shifting from job to job if things didn't go my way. After a couple weeks or a couple months, if it wasn't looking like it was shaping up and I wasn't going to have a future, then I would stop. I just wouldn't continue. I'd either quit the job or somebody would ask me to leave or I'd be laid off. So I thought, well, if I go into the Navy, I'll have to have structure and I can continue. And then everything will be all right. Well, I came in the Navy and I resolved to not drink anymore and to stop. I made it through boot camp without drinking. My parents came down, saw me go through boot camp and graduation, and I felt good. And they had a right to be there. They were proud of their son. And now I'm glad, before I was embarrassed, that they were there. At the time I was 22 years old, and we went out and had dinner and asked me if I want something to drink. Hey, I was of age. I've been drinking for years, but sure, why not? Made it through my apprenticeship school. When I was going to school, I had to wear whites. And every night I'd walk down to the nearest bar and sit there and get quietly obliterated. But see, I didn't have a problem. Because my notion of an alcoholic was the one who was sitting at home. Who was my father who was drinking. Who just sat at home quietly. Well, I sat quietly in a bar. But since I wasn't by myself, I didn't have a problem. But I did. I was by myself. Yeah, I talked to a few other people once I got inebriated enough to crawl out of myself. Makes it sound like it's a very lonely trail. No, there was good times. There was ups, there was downs. But on the whole, it just the same thing got worse and worse. And that had been going on at the time for about 8-9 years. And I continued to try to get back to the same thing that I had 7-8 years before, where it given me a warm feeling, where I felt whole, and I wasn't scared of other people, and I accepted myself. But it just stopped working. And then I wanted to quit, but I knew no different. If I stopped for a while, I didn't feel comfortable with myself. Now, see, I didn't want to drink around the people I worked with or the people I knew, because then they'd know I had a problem. So I didn't. I found somebody else who worked a different job and didn't have too many friends either. Because I'm a loner, basically. If you know me, you might be able to hurt me. So I kept away. At the time, if I wanted a new pair of pants, I better buy them the day I get paid. Because next time it gets around for payday, I'm borrowing money and I need to pay people off the next time I get paid. Well, it got to the point where I didn't want to live and I didn't want to die. And I asked to see a psychiatrist. And they sent me off to sick call, and a medical doctor asked me how much I drank. And I told him the truth. I said 2 to 20. Just depended. And he told me to get the hell out of his office. Get out of here. Come back after you've been sober for a year. Why don't you go see somebody about your drinking? I was hurt. I felt rejected. I felt like he didn't understand. But I wasn't willing to stand up and say that to him. So I just moved on out of his office and I went back to my ship, continued with my work. I don't know if it was a week, a day, or a month passed by. But I was standing on that ship, getting up in the morning one day, on that metal diamond grating, standing in front of a mirror in the sink. Looked at myself and said, I'm just like my father, I'm a different person, but I crawl into a bottle and I run. At all costs, I run from myself. And run from the world because I'm scared. And I can't quit drinking alone. I need help. And I don't know why that dawned on me. I don't know how it dawned on me. And I talked to some people about getting some help for my drinking. Took an interview and they asked me about my drinking, and I looked through all their silly forms and I could have lied my way out of it. Sitting there, I knew it. I went and I talked to this individual, I can't remember, it was a chief of some sort. And he said, well, I'm recommending you for level 3 treatment. I go, well, what's that? And he goes, well, we send you up to alcohol rehab. He goes, well, what do you think about that? I said, I don't know. He goes, well, here's a paper with my recommendation on it. On the bottom, you either circle yes, you agree, or no, you don't. And you sign it. And I'll be sending this off to your command. Inside, though, I was screaming, I really want this. I really want this to stop, but I didn't want to admit it. All costs look good. Look like nothing's bothering me. And nobody can get inside, nobody can mess with Bill. And they did send me, I was lucky.
Bill's cry for help was loud enough for him to seek help, or at least be open to it. And through treatment and an introduction to 12-step self-help programs, he learned he didn't have to drink one day at a time.
First time when I was there, they drove me out to some meetings. Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. Walked in. Didn't hear much of what people were saying because I was in the back sitting on a couch and I guess with some larynx problems or something talking. This is back in Virginia and they give out chips for newcomers. A chip is just a white chip saying that you want to stop drinking, want to try that way of life. Thing was, when I was sitting around those people, they were diverse. There were people my age, there were people a lot older. Looked like they were from all walks of life, but for some reason I felt at home. I felt peaceful there. Didn't feel threatened. I don't know why. It's not really anything anybody said to me. No great hellos, no great pats on the backs. I'm not saying that people weren't welcome. It's just I felt comfortable. And the way I felt is, and what I thought was, well, all my life I've looked for a quick answer. If there's a quick answer, I hope it comes, but right now I might have to just plod one day at a time and get better little by little and little by little. And I was willing to do that because I wasn't going anywhere, and I couldn't get anywhere or feel better about myself if I continued to drink. We started talking about praying to a God that I understood or that I believed in a strange way that I had. What I accepted that could help me. Not theirs or anybody else's, something that would help me. I like that. It told me to write things out that had happened in my life. That scared me because also they told me to share it with another person. And that God or that higher power that I believed in. That scared me. Now that sounds sort of something like I'd done years before when I stopped drinking. But one thing I'd always left out is that was other people. And see, I never needed anybody else. I never wanted to accept any help because it might be turned around and used against me. They gave me little ideas and things started perking into my head. Like I had choices now. No, I'd proved that I couldn't drink sensibly to myself when I walked in there. But it's not that I can't drink. It's today that I have a choice not to drink. And I choose that on a daily basis. And that was a strange concept to me too, is that was a daily basis type thing, living life on a day at a time. Because what I wanted to do is I want to think what's going to happen a year from now, a month from now, and I should be farther along. Why didn't I do this yesterday? Why can't I? If there's something wrong, and why should I even try, because I'll never get there anyway? What can I do right now today for me and somebody else? I found that difficult, but it's worth living now. And that nothing ever worked that I'd thought are false ideas. Something creeps into my head, well, why don't I just try what some of those people told me? Try praying to something that I don't understand, or take some action like that. See, I'm the type of person that thinks, hey, God loves me, I don't have to get down on my hands and knees, and I don't have to pray. And usually I don't, but sometimes I'll even take their advice and I'll do that, and it tends to help. Just get down and pray. God works for me in ways that I haven't thought possible.
Through Bill's newfound spirituality, prayer became a necessary part of his daily living. Praying to his higher power seemed to center him.
I really feel I'm lucky because I don't know why this turnaround came in my life. Or I was blessed with people in it that helped. And that continually to help now. I've traveled around this country, been transferred 8 or 10 times. And there's always been somebody there if I was willing to open my eyes. And I don't think these things are coincidences. I think there's something higher than myself that's just simply helping out. I think I got a raw deal with that higher power when I first started out. I thought I was just going to make things perfect and it was going to be a bed of roses. I could walk on water and things could go along fine. And I was promptly informed, I thought, that it was being laid on me that, no, Bill, I will walk with you and I will help you if you're willing to walk with me.
You've been listening to The Bottom Line, featuring Bill's story. Bill, thank you so much for caring enough to share your message. This show is produced for Armed Forces Radio Worldwide. I'm Gary Thiemann. Until next time, God bless you and share the message, won't you? This has been a GRT production.